I'm going to keep it 100 with you. A lot has changed drastically in my personal and professional life. So much so, I'm just trying to be still and really tap into that growth mindset of asking what are the lessons to be learned and what are the growth paths I am meant to pursue. Detoxing distractions, demanding grace, doing the work, distilling clarity, driving growth, and defining goals. Truth be told, there are so many elements outside of your control. You cannot control if and when people, opportunities, the market, infrastructure, other external factors let you down. Because I promise you, they will. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. In addition to that, current challenges, excruciating circumstances, and unseen obstacles also do not define you or your worth. They are part of the journey to show your worth through it. Listen, today's sales leaders know their expectations are at an all-time high. Beyond the cold calling and closing deals, sales teams are expected to leverage a slew of different tech to do things like dig into the numbers, quickly switch up strategies, and collab across teams. But there's such a better way to win. It all starts with the new HubSpot Sales Hub. HubSpot Sales Hub unifies your data, your tools, and your teams inside a smart and powerful platform. There's a new prospecting workspace, deal management tools, AI-powered tools that help reps optimize based off of real-time results. And bonus points, the reps can automate their busy workflows so they can focus on doing what they do best, closing them deals. It's smart software for smart sales teams that feels really good to use. To me, it sounds like a smart situation. With Sales Hub, closing deals is no big deal, no biggie. Try it for yourself at HubSpot.com/sales. I talked with a potential client last week about how marketing and strategy and positioning and simplifying operations all can come together to help them grow. The question they asked me, where we spent most of our time on, was simply this: Troy, can you guarantee the outcome by insert time will be insert result? And I responded with an immediate no. Blasphemy. What do you mean, no? Why did you tell them no? Are you crazy? Now, am I a results driven, revenue driven, impact driven, insert all the fun adjectives in front of driven you want here, type of consultant? Yes, of course, 1,000,000%. But I also recognize the odds are always better in your favor when you can put yourself in an environment and create a strategy, a system, and infrastructure that can cultivate and almost attract the very thing that you want. In reality, what I apply and try to do with my own journey, I bring that psychological framing to consulting with marketing designed for growth. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in a strategic marketing retro or conversation where someone asked you in that meeting, in that moment, what's your current fear track? Probably not, or at least not in that way. Most times, fear is very present in business because there isn't enough clarity to make rational decisions or preparations. And that comes down to three things: what you see, what the market thinks, and what your ICP believes.
What's up, digital world? You're listening to the I Digress audio experience with Troy Sandidge. Social media, marketing, storytelling, business, culture, and more. Coming to you in 3, 2, 1.
And for those who may not know, ICP stands for your ideal client or customer profile. Now, I've said all this to say this. Just how, in your own personal discovery, evolution, and growth, you may be listening right now with probably a little extra weight than you would like to carry. Or you're thinking of how I'm going to make more money through either side gigs or promotion or a new job, or maybe even trying your luck at the lottery again. Or maybe you're in a situation where you want more of your life. You want more of your relationships. You want to feel more fulfilled. You want to feel more empowered. You want to feel happier, right? Fair enough to say. Insert whatever it is that you want here in this moment. And you put that on paper. This is what I want. And let me guess, you sign up for a gym subscription or membership. You get your outfits because, you got to look good to feel good, to do good, to eventually get to where you want to be with your physical fitness, right? Of course, 1,000,000% logical. You might get some supplements. You might get some equipment, some new shoes, some new bags, some new swag. When you go to the gym, you do all these things. And for some reason, 1 month goes by, 2 months goes by. Oh my goodness, New Year resolutions is over. Oh my goodness, summer bod. Am I going to get it in time for summer? Nah, I'm just going to do it during summer. Oh my gosh, we're through the fall. Oh my gosh, when did it become Q4 officially? And I haven't gotten really anywhere with my physical fitness because so many things have happened outside of my control and everything else. And it's challenging, and it's hard, and it's confusing. You can take that very same scenario, apply that with trying to cultivate relationships, trying to, build up more platonic relationships, friendships, things like that. You're trying to get the promotion, but you weren't chosen. You've been unemployed for 14 plus months, on the rotations, in the final rounds, adjusting resumes, adjusting all these things, and not being selected. So many things that we do that we're trying to pursue, we don't consider how much of the things are literally out of our control. It sounds good in theory. It sounds good on paper. But the reality is there's so much out of our control. And just like in those personal examples, the same thing is in business. The goal of marketing, as I've shared in my 3-part masterclass on resonance, the goal of marketing is to resonate with people, to put you in the best possible positioning for awareness, activation, conversation, ambassadorship, conversion, community, and so forth. So when people come to me and they're like, hey, how do we do this? I need this guarantee. You will not know how good or bad your copy, your branding, your messaging, all of it. You will never know how good or bad it is until we look under the hood, we organize it, we categorize it, we try different things, and we listen to what other people think. Again, I'm going to reiterate this throughout this entire podcast. What you see, what the market thinks, and what your ICP believes. Most times in marketing, people think that if I build the website, if I say a business exists, if I create some social accounts and post some things, if I make a lead funnel, if I make a product, people are just going to buy. They don't. Most times when people start a business, they almost for some reason forget the experience of buying anything. I'm in a current situation right now where there's things I want to do, but it may not make sense for me to do financially. Now, the things I want to do is working with other consultants and other things of people who, like myself, I'm trying to make money. I am trying to win clients. I'm trying to win business. I'm trying to procure my monthly needs, quarterly needs, annual needs. Troy, you could be a potential gateway to that, a door to that. You're part of my ICP. We've had a touch base. Maybe you've had a conversation. Maybe you gave me your full rundown. And now it's the follow up and the follow through. And here's the thing I want you to really understand. I may even consider making this one piece instead of a micro episode. I may even convert this one piece into its own full blown episode. And that is, and hear me very closely, this is one of the top things to take away from this episode. So I promise you, please listen closely. Do not misconstrue intentions for buying decisions. Do not misconstrue intentions for buying decisions. And this ties back to everything we've already talked about. And that's this. We may have the intent to lose weight or the intent to build muscle or the intent to be physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually healthy. We may have the intent to apply to that job. We may have the intent to have that vacation plan. We may have the intent to get a new wardrobe, to learn a new language, to read 50 books in the year. And that's more amplified at New Year's time because we think psychologically a new year is going to give us the motivation, the activation, the discipline that we need to then activate these things to turn our intentions into actions, into results. Do not fault people who have had at that current moment in their life every single intention to consider your offer and become a client or customer of yours, a patron of yours. And then you follow up and either they ghost you, they stretch things out, or surprise, they're not a client, they're not a customer, they're not a patron. And you're wondering why? Because we can get so ingrained on their intent to do something that we misconstrued it for the actual decision or action to make that real. And this is something that many in the entrepreneurial world, we learn over time. And when you're in sales, you learn over time. Even in marketing, you learn over time. Let's not get too excited. Let's not have too much zeal over a qualified lead, over a conversation, over a pitch deck, over a presentation in person, over sending the contract or the proposal over to sign. Yeah, even at that moment. Because I've sent some things that at the midnight hour did not get signed, did not get approved. And I was left, oh, okay. I had a guaranteed thing. Signed, sealed, delivered. Money never sent. Ghosted me. Just like that. Yes, these are lessons learned, but also let's not be naive to interpret intention for actualization. A wise man once told me, and I apply it to this day, until that money hit my account, we ain't in business. And I want you to understand that. I gotta remove the personalization of taking certain things personal because of intent. You may have had every intention to do some work for someone for free or help someone out or give them some free game or whatever. Something came up in your life that made something more of a priority. Time got up with you. You didn't respond that day. The next day, a week goes by, a month goes by. And then you're like, well, at this point, should I even tell them? Should I even try? I don't even bring it back up no more. And then it fades away. And y'all act like that doesn't happen in business because you got money on the line, because you want the opportunity. Please, people have things happening and you are in a struggle. You're competing with multitudes of challenges, of prioritization. At any given time, you will almost never be at the highest peak of priority for the potential people you're looking to work with or work for. We cannot put our personal needs and demands and wants at such a high pedestal and think the world is going to align with that need, with that demand, with that sense of urgency, and match your energy and match your frequency. Doesn't work that way. Again, what do you see, what the market thinks, and what your ICP believes? Many of you are too focused on what you see, on what you think, on what you believe. Last time I checked, you can't pay yourself. You are not your own client. You are not your own audience. Hey, executive leaders, listen up. Hey, stubborn head bosses, listen up. Hey, so confident, too deep in the data sales people, listen up. Hey, marketers who made a roadmap plan 8 months ago and still following it to this day and not making adjustments, listen up. What you see, what you think, what you believe, what you hold to be true, what your preferences are, what your likes are, how you prefer to communicate, how you choose to move and make things happen, what platforms you want to say something on may not be the same thing that the market thinks is valuable, and definitely may not be the same thing where your ICP lives, considers opportunities, and buys. We have to match our frequency, our energy within the marketplace and to our ICP. Go to where the customers and the potential clients are. Not stay in your island by yourself and think if I just scream loud enough, at some point, someone who happens to have the exact amount of money I want is going to hear it, find me, and do all the work, jump through all the hoops to buy from me. You know, one of the hardest things to do as a consultant? Not be the villain. And I've learned to embrace being simply the villain because I'm going to come in and tell you what you don't want to hear. But at the same time, it's probably the thing you need to hear to consider and break you out of your self-absorbed bubble of what I think, what I see, what I believe is true of the highest sense. But yet the results that you want, the outcomes that you want aren't landing. I was brought on to help a business find clarity in how they position themselves. And as a neurospicy person, I'm very perceptive. And it doesn't take me long at all. And I reviewed some things, heard some conversations, and I'm already quantifying in my brain the clear questions of, okay, but why would I care? Why should the customer care? You have told me nothing of value. See, we got to stop listing features and tell more stories. We have to stop thinking because something took so long to do or to create. Or, ooh, look how much energy, effort, and money I spent on all these assets. Now buy them. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about your journey to get to the point in front of them. They care about on their own journey. Hey, you're in front of me. Are you going to be a benefit to my journey? Or wait, or you're wasting my time? I am trying to be more intentional with my delivery, but sometimes people need to hear the hard truth. And the hard truth is business is harder than what people think. They get frustrated by that. And they think because it's so hard for them, the world owes you a brownie point. It owes you a lifeline. Ooh, if you say it the same way enough times on LinkedIn, at some point, someone's supposed to know you're looking for business. They're an ideal candidate for you. They can afford your pricing. They pay it up front and they're the best client ever. What world are you living in? The same thing with your personal life. You buy all the equipment, you buy the gym membership, you buy all the supplements, you buy the new blender, you buy all the different fruits and the nasty things that you got to mix to eat and try to lose weight. 3 days in, you are unmotivated, uninterested, and distraught. 3 months in, not real much progress, but in your mind, the talk track of all the things you have to do. Oh, it's so simple. Oh, it's so easy. Just follow the plan. We wrote it out months ago. You might have even hired a coach or a few, a nutrition coach, a sleep coach, a performance coach, a mental coach, and all the coaches are giving all things you need to do, but you yourself are burnt out, distraught, not seeing progress, set you back. All these things are happening. You compare yourself to other people on Instagram. Oh, my body's not getting where I need to be. I'm more distraught. I activate my coping mechanisms. I don't know why things are happening. And you burnt all this money to be in the exact same place you were a year later. And that's literally the same thing in business. You're at the same place you were a year later. No growth, no evolution, no change. Ooh, I got my LLC. I got a new LinkedIn business page. I spent all this money on business cards, on a website, on a new hype video. Stop spending so much on the cosmetics if you don't have the infrastructure in place. Did you even check to see the viability of the industry you're going in? Because let me tell you this, as I've said a million times on this podcast, you either meet the demand or you make the demand. And most people can't not make the demand. So therefore, you must meet the demand, which means you have to compromise, eat some humble pie, and understand how to navigate, reach, impact your audience on their terms, not yours. You're nobody. No one knows you exist. When I have to tell people that as a consultant, boy, do they get mad? Do they get angry? Do they get irritated and frustrated and like, how dare you? How dare I? If you're talking to me right now, something's broken. It's not working. We know this already. That's why you called me for a consultation. Now, before I win your business to maybe get you on track, we have to have an understanding. We have to be real about where we are. Again, going back to our example, what's holding you back from losing the weight? Because I'm sure if you have the right environment and you're properly motivated, distractions being removed, with opportunities and support being strong and solidified with you, being able to do the work and defining goals that seem achievable psychologically and motivates you from a reward perspective to move things forward, oh, it's going to be great. You're going to be good. You're going to be successful. We don't do the deep work to ask the real questions of why this isn't working. And most times, it's not that I can't market your business better. It's that your tone, your messaging, your brand positioning is speaking a language that no one but you understands. And you spent all your money, effort, and energy in all the wrong places, and then nothing works. And let me catch you with this one. I'm not trying to give no strays. I'm just trying to be real. You had every intention to achieve those goals and results, to do the deep work, and for some reason it didn't happen, right? And that's your business. So you mean to tell me people who have the intention to read your document, to consume your content, to follow up on your email, to have a conversation, to maybe work with you, and then for some reason don't, you get angry and fault and don't consider maybe my system needs an adjustment, maybe my positioning needs an adjustment, or maybe just maybe I am literally talking to the wrong people. Maybe you have so many ideas happening that you didn't consider. I need to simplify what it is that I'm doing, what it is that I'm saying, what it is that I'm showing, where it is that I'm going, and who I am talking to. Adding more ideas, more products, more pipelines, more funnels, more archetypes isn't going to help you catch any fish faster. You are stretching yourself thin, and you're going to be even in a worse state with more money being spent with no ROI in sight because you didn't sit still for a moment and hear what other people have to say. Truth, Lies, and Workplace Culture is brought to you by the HubSpot Podcast Network, the audio destination for business professionals. Join husband and wife team, Al and Leanne, as they dispel myths, impart wisdom, and answer all your questions about finding, keeping, and motivating great people. The show has a unique blend of theory and practice, which helps business owners and leaders simplify consumer psychology. It's all about exploring what makes people tick. Each episode delivers actionable insights and practical steps to create toxic-free workplaces that prioritize employee well-being and enable sustainable growth to build a thriving workplace. Did we mention the hosts are also a married couple? This makes for some very lively and informative discussions. Listen to Truth, Lies, and Workplace Culture wherever you get your podcasts. I have to tell y'all this. It's something I just learned in years and years of marketing and business and working with startups and corporate America and agency life and consultants and entrepreneurs and all these different things is that most people actually, respectfully, are terrible at running businesses. Just because you have an idea and you worked for somebody sometime and you might have had some success as a marketer or a salesperson does not mean that you are a catch-all to build a successful business by yourself. And I want to premise with the key word there being by yourself. The businesses that you see going from to the business that you see going from 0 to 100 to a mil to 10 mil to unicorn status are those who get the heck out the way and put the right people in place to make it happen. They eat the humble pie and acknowledge, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I just had the idea, or I just had the funding, or I'm great in sales, but maybe what I'm trying to sell now is not aligned with who the audience I'm trying to reach because I'm not in touch with that audience. Therefore, everything that I've done is invalid to the success of this particular business. Respectfully, so what? You've been in business 50 years. The new business you just launched that you're trying to reach to generations that are separated from you 4 generations over, who have different values, different infrastructure, different ways that they may interpret things, speak to things, and have different budgets, aren't going to land with strategies that you've done your whole entire life. I know that's a hard thing to swallow and sit with, but it's true. You are navigating outdated software on an entirely different piece of technology that you've never used while everyone else around you is running rings around you, speaking a language neither one of you understand, and you're hoping that both of y'all can come together and make some money. That's how you look. Did that land? Did that hurt? I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. It needed to be said. We need to consider less about what we see and spend more time understanding what the market thinks, and even more so, what your ICP believes. There's your side of the story, there's their side of the story, then there's the truth. And the truth is, you probably don't have the full side of the story. No one owes you anything. And it's not the audience's job to change their language for you. Y'all out here speaking Swahili, but we're trying to listen to French. You're playing reggae and jazz, and we're trying to hear EDM. You're trying to sell apples, and we all want oranges. You are totally out of fix, out of place with where you're trying to be, with who you're trying to sell to, and what you're trying to offer has no value here. I don't know how many more analogies I have in me to convey this, but it's as simple as, hey, I have USD currency. Sorry, we only work in rubies. Hit the conversion tray and come back. And that conversion place is the outside third party help like me to help you convert. Come on now, did I not bring that home? I think we did something. Let's pause and celebrate. Okay, move on. I digress. To help you convert what it is that you do and translating that to what needs to be said and what needs to be seen and what needs to be shown, not only to the marketplace itself, but to your very customers and clients you're trying to pursue. Now, I don't know if I can make it any clearer than that. Again, detoxing distractions. Ooh, we're making all these different assets that nobody asked for, that nobody wants. And unfortunately, you spent all this money on a business name, website, video, graphics, even in pop-ups or brick and mortar stuff. And you didn't consider, am I speaking the right language? Is it even said in the right way? Does it make sense to people outside of my family, outside of my inner circle, that may or may not be telling me what I want to hear instead of what I need to hear? Did I hit a heartstring? I hope not. But here's the reality. I've seen it too much. I've observed it too much. This is why so many fail. They don't consider outside support and help, and they make all their decisions in a bubble. Then they release the bubble to say we're open for business, and guess what? Ain't no one come. Ain't no one walked through the door. Ain't no one went to the site. And if they went to the site, they clicked and left. The bounce rate is probably atrocious. Your conversions are abysmal. You are losing more money than you're making. And you're doing it week by week, month by month. And you're making excuses. I need to push more content. But you're saying things nobody wants to hear. You push things out. Your brand looks atrocious because it doesn't match the expectation of those who actually want to work with you, buy from you, would actually find appealing. I hate to be the villain, but if that means for you to wake up, then that's my job. My job is to help you convert, to help you transform, to help you reposition yourself to increase the odds of you being selected, you being chosen, and you getting that money. It's amazing to me how we went from let's buy followers to let's spam email and spam RSS feeds to we're gonna spam call to we're gonna link stuff. We're gonna do all these questionably, maybe unethical or overzealous ways to help gamify the situation to put us at the top of the results, to drive more volume, to all these things, and yet we're left with no conversions. It's crazy to me. And yeah, so many people in sales activate those mechanics because they want to see visually a stimuli of something that they can hold value to and construct with of like, oh, look how many clicks we got. Look how many emails we sent out. But your open rate, your conversion rate is atrocious. But you look how many people I sent that out to. Look how many impressions the ads got. Look at how many people went to our website. Well, how was the click through rate? Do you have any idea how long they've been on the site? Did you get any cha-chings? Did you get any subscriptions? Did you get any inquiries? Do you know what your LTV is? Did all the investment you did in those quick term things actually drive anything of value to you? Well, we got to give them more time. I've seen people give a really bad campaign or other things for cold outreach and stuff more patience and more time than a proven organic marketing campaign that takes the same amount of time and will consistently build you more residual results over time. And I've seen many leaders shut that down because they didn't get the immediate dopamine hit right away. And if you tell me I'm wrong, go to @FindTroy on any social media account or troy@findtroy.com on email and send me an email and tell me I'm wrong and give me an example otherwise. Because I tell you, 9 times out of 10, I've seen it, I've lived it, I've experienced it, I've heard it, I've talked with plenty of people, and it all comes down to the same thing. People choose gimmicky, salesy things and give that more patience than actually developing strong relationship marketing campaigns and brand positioning and infrastructure that actually will work. But guess what? It takes time. And it still takes money. I don't know why people think because we're activating organic social media marketing, we still don't need to put money behind it. You got to invest money in actual branding and actual messaging and actual tone, visualization, graphics, other elements, whether through the software or through actual talent, third-party consultants, and people who can move the needle for you. Organic doesn't mean free. Nothing's free in business. Time it took to build all that content out to post on LinkedIn wasn't free. That cost you the most expensive commodity that we have. It's time. You bring on consultants to help you save time. But I've been in a lot of situations. I've been with a lot of different clients. And again, I have a moral compass. So there's been plenty of times where someone have hired me. They paid half up front. We get into a situation. I tell them what they need to do, and I'm letting them know the boundaries of my role in this dynamic. I'm a consultant. We didn't arrange for me to be an executor on your behalf. That's a different cost. It's a different infrastructure. We didn't have this in place. So it's also key to understand just like your personal growth. Who are the key people around you? What are their roles? What are their responsibilities? And one of the most triggering things ever is to add on more responsibility or more to a role to someone who wasn't designed to be in that place or to do those additional things. It's not how any of this works. And then you're going to burn bridges because you come at this thing with, you work for me. I'm working with you. I don't work for you. Here's our relationship. Here's how I'm supposed to help you. Now, to save time, let me do what I'm doing to get you to a place to do what you need to do. But if you're backseat driving me, if you're questioning every move that I make, well, if you know better than me, then why did you bring me on? If you don't sell so well, then why did you bring on another salesperson to help you build up the sales process and systems to help you match your business to where the audiences are? to do the cold outreach to assess and analyze how do we reposition or who our new ICP is, because our current one isn't buying. Something's wrong. Either we're saying the wrong thing, the demand isn't there, we're speaking a foreign language, we got the wrong people, or how we're positioning what we're saying, what we're doing sucks. Therefore, we got to figure this out. But no one wants someone to question everything that they're doing to help you. If I'm trying to lose weight and I look the way that I look, and I have a coach who looks how they look, ideal body, style, all the things, and they're telling me what to do, and I'm over there telling them what I want to do. Okay, well, you got your results, which ain't showing. They got their results, which are showing. That seems ridiculous, right? And yet we see it all the time in the dynamic of third-party consultants, between leaders and employees, and all these different things. What you see, what the market thinks, and what your ICP believes. You're looking too deep and interpreting too much on whatever configuration you're set on to how you think, how you see, how you believe, how you operate, how you activate. That don't mean that it works. Here's the humble pie. You could be, or you are, currently a very successful business person, and you try to launch a whole new business, a whole new media production, whatever the case might be, in something else that's not your norm, and you can fail at it because what you did in a previous industry or a different industry doesn't necessarily transfer brownie credits over for you to streamline this new business to be successful. Ooh, you worked your ex-Apple, ex-Facebook, ex-Google. Okay. Yeah, you have to be a certain caliber of talent, smartness, and ability and timing to work at some of those companies, especially the higher up you go. No shade, more power to you. But now you're here in this new business with no infrastructure to claim that's going to drive more sales and leads. Are you kidding me right now? No. I have personally generated at this point close to $400 million in my career for brands and businesses. I ain't seen a cent of that money. $400 million of my ideas, my strategy, my infrastructure, my leadership, my operations, my teamwork, my long hours. It's great from a marketing perspective. It validates the extent of work that I've done and the accumulation of value that I've brought from a financial perspective. But me just leading with that with somebody to get a new client, that don't mean anything to them. Okay, asterisk. Okay, what was those tech brands? Did they have a marketing budget? Did they have this? Did they have that? And yes, that's a totality of me working in an agency, nonprofit, politics, corporate, social good, so many different things, right? But all the different experiences are different. That doesn't mean we're going to tap into this and get you to $5 million in 1 year, working directly with me and only me, when you don't have the right infrastructure, the right marketing, the right sales strategy, the right language positioning in place. No. And if I have to spend more time focusing on those elements, working on those elements to make it even happen, that means it's going to take even more time to get this build up to par to go. You just said, hey, I have all these car parts. Make this car based off this schematic of this picture that I want it to be so we can go. Well, based off these parts, I can build you this type of car, but you're not going to go nearly as fast. Why not? Because you don't have the right parts. I can't afford that. Okay. Well, we have to make this work. Yeah, we're going to make it work to the specifications of what you have on hand, not to what you think you have and the goals and the urges that you're trying to get there. It doesn't work that way. You get on the highway, you hit traffic. I don't care how badly you need to get to another destination. The traffic is determining how fast you're going to go and what time you're going to get there by. Literally out of your control. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I can't move the highway. I can't eliminate the cars. We're either going to sit in traffic, figure out another plan to get off the traffic and do a back route, which may take more time, or it may not. We may save time, but it may take more effort and energy than it would if we just stayed on the highway. All these things we got to consider. But people make it seem like it's so simple with these changes when it's not. We had the intent to win this business. We had the intent to create this brand. We had the intent to work with that person. And then it didn't happen. Now what? What are we going to do? We got to understand that and navigate that. And it's so hard because we think, I get brownie points for work. I don't. You do not. Are you considering the wrong things? The constructs of how we consider and validate a process for something is predicated on what we consume, who we ask questions, and what answers we get. Are you asking the wrong questions to the wrong people with the wrong perspectives, and you built your business on that infrastructure, and then you wondering why is nothing working? Is it possible that every level of growth in our business, we need to seek new support as we evolve and grow to match our frequency or challenges to better our frequency? Yeah. But are you doing it though? What got you to point B from point A is not going to be the same thing to get you from point B to point C. Sit with that. You all are hoping when you start your business and you got a little bit of success through using preschool tactics, and you hoping for monumental results when people around you, the competitors around you, are on a senior level college strategy game, and you still holding on to your preschool strategy tactics and wondering why is it working for them and not me? I don't know. And you know I'm right. And you know a lot of people are right. Yes, there's times where you have to go against the grain. And there's other times where everybody ain't wrong. If you're pitching and sharing your content and your story and your messaging to so many variety of people and it don't land with anybody, there's confusion. People who are confused don't buy. People who are confused don't share. People who are confused won't listen. So if you're coming into a situation with confusion on the tongue, confusion in your copy, in your messaging, in your operations, oh, here's all the things of how we're going to make money. I'm confused. What? It's all right there. It's in the business plan. Okay. But if I'm your ideal buyer and I don't get it, who cares about your business plan? It's faulty. If I'm trying to fund your business and I'm looking at the numbers and I'm looking at the deck and the math ain't mathing, I don't care how much you spent on that deck. It isn't making sense to me. And last time I checked, it needs to make sense to me if I'm the one who's going to fund your project, if I'm going to help you get to your next round of funding. Again, less on what you see, more on what the marketplace thinks and what your ICP believes. Most people will not make the demand. Therefore, we must meet the demand. And the same with your personal goals. Detox distractions, demand more grace, do the work, distill clarity, drive growth, define clear goals. And understand we can't control, but we can control our response to that. We can't control what we can control and adjust accordingly. We don't have it all together. We don't get brownie points because we did something hard to us and think we should be compensated for it. It's not how it works. If you don't bring enough value to the game, we ain't paying. We ain't buying. We're not watching. We're not reading. We're not looking. We're not consuming. Nothing. The value of your business is not based on your own personal interpretation. It's what the marketplace demands it to see it. It's what the marketplace deems it to be and what the ICP believes it to be so. Do not misconstrue intention. Know that you are not the priority. We have to match their frequency and align with what they're trying to go on their timeline, not yours. One of the things that will make anybody mad is if you constantly haggling someone to do something they don't want to do. Someone tells you it's not a good time right now, and you assume, oh, you XYZ. Well, we just had one hurricane come through. Got Hurricane Milton projected to come through and do a lot of damage on top of the previous hurricane that already came through in different areas of the world. Maybe, well, they don't live in that area that's impacted, but maybe their family does. And their mind is somewhere else, meaning their priorities is not yours. It's not near you. It's not about you. Got something else going on. That don't mean that they're disqualified from the opportunity, but maybe the conversation will allow a deeper understanding of why. Maybe not. Either way, it's not their priority to give that to you. And at the same time, I've seen plenty of folk who said no, not right now, not today, maybe even ghosted me, came back later. Right time, right intention, ready to go, action, alignment, perfect timing, and we hit it off. It's about putting yourself in the highest possible and best environment, situation, and opportunity for success. People say the hardest thing to do to get to where you want to be in fitness is actually going to the gym. If I can just get off my butt and get to the gym, that doesn't mean I'm going to work as hard. But I guarantee you this, because I'm already here and I'm in an environment of examples of people who are superb in their field, look exactly how I may want to look, and in doing the work, and they have the habits and discipline to do it, I'm going to match that energy at some point as I continue to show up. I might feel shamed at the beginning. Over time, these are my people. I respect you. And who was I to think that person who I'm on over, who I'm like, wow, look at their physique, weren't like me. And the cycle continues, but we don't consider even that. Most of our competitors were once like us, had nothing, started from the bottom. But over time, they put themselves in the right environments to be successful, got the right people to help them be successful, spoke the right language, said the right things, positioned themselves accordingly, and made it work. And they can list that, and you could copy that exact list of things to do and try to do them. And then for some reason, it doesn't work for you, and you wonder why. It's because you have to adapt it to yourself. I do a lot of presentations, and I have this thing I'm doing now where I show all my formulas up front. You can take a screenshot and you can try to do them, but you're not going to interpret it like me, describe it like me, distill it like me, break it down like me, with the swagger and flair and energy around it, because those are mine. You can copy and paste, but you can't expand. You can't modify because you don't have the context and the foundational material. Do you have the right context and the right foundation material to take what you see and emulate to build the business that you want to build? I hate when people tell me, oh, it's not that hard. We just got to do those few things. I think back to Iron Man, 2008 Iron Man, when Jeff Bridges' character, Obadiah Stane, is yelling at the engineers. Tony Stark built this in a cave with scraps. I've had all this technology, I've had all these things, all these engineers, and you can't replicate a stronger, better, more efficient suit, or even come close to the suit he built in the cave with scraps. And I think about that all the time as a perfect example of a few things. One, you had every intent to rebuild what this person did. It looked easy. Ooh, it didn't work. You didn't have the magic sauce. You didn't have the stuff. Two, the assumption that anything being built that worked is easy. It's not. Three, if you don't have the right talent, it may not work. Have you ever considered, maybe I've just had an accumulation of all the wrong talent, unless it's wrong people, why I'm not getting where I need to go? Did you ever consider motivational track, the infrastructure, the urgency, and the environment that was conducive to making something happen? Maybe not Tony Stark's motivation or urgency, but you get my point. I digress. It's the same thing in business, it's the same thing in life. What we may see for a business or a brand to do to build what you see and marvel at may not be all there is to it. That iceberg analogy. When we see everything on top, we don't see how deep that goes underneath. We don't know what's behind the hood. What people post on LinkedIn and they share their 10 steps or their 0 to 1 million or 10 million or, selling the company status and being acquired and all that. They talk about all that stuff on LinkedIn. I guarantee you they didn't share every single detail, all the drawbacks and the sacrifices and the pain, the struggles, and the what ifs. No, because that doesn't fit into 1,300 characters. You got to be consolidated down to the nitty gritty. I'll show you enough. I won't tell you everything. And we got to be real with that. We got to understand that. Try to match word for word their blueprint and wondering why it's not working for you. Looking like Obadiah Stane. So-and-so did this way and became a $7 million business. I'm doing the same thing and I can't make $25. Now, I'm not here to throw anyone under the bus or destroy anyone's motivation or intention to do something. But let's be real and honest with the reality. What you may see may not be what's all really there. How you're interpreting what all it may take to do something may not be all it is. Maybe much, much more. With all your experience and credibility and success in certain areas of your life, doesn't mean it's going to translate to this area. I am phenomenal with a computer. I need a lot more grace with building something with my hands. Creatively, I got it. Hand-eye coordination is there. But I'm still not as good with navigating certain things with my hands. That's not my forte. So what of all things I've done with a computer that may not translate out in nature? I am completely unable to do anything in nature without someone who can guide me through it, teach me, be patient with me, and help me. And many of you in business thinking what you've done in the past or who you've done it for will immediately translate into success into something else you've never done before. That's not true. And it will show. It will reveal itself. It will not be blindsided by others. A city slicker like me is going to stand out like a sore thumb in the middle of nature, not knowing how to do anything. When he tried, he got all the name brand equipment, but not the right equipment to do the real job because he doesn't know, because he didn't consult with people who actually are in those environments making those things happen. All that to say, understand that you have every good intention. So does everybody else. Most people have good intentions to work with you, to support you, to refer you, to share things, be a part of that, fun, whatever the case might be. Don't mean all of them are going to do it. Priorities change. What are you going to do now? How you built the business doesn't mean it's immediately successful. Hey, I joined so-and-so's mastermind. I attended this conference. I watched these videos. Great start. Keep doing that because people need those activations to even start the process of becoming successful. But it doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop just because you went to the gym. What did you do at the gym? Did you go to the intensity that is needed to compel strain that builds muscle, that helps reduce fat? Did you do the cardio elements? How many reps did you do? What's your frequency? Oh, it doesn't stop there. When you came back home, what was the home routine? What was your nutrition? What was your sleep? Amazing to me. You could apply all this to business and start walking people through it. It won't take a lot of time to figure out that's where I lack. That's where I don't have. I'm my own stumbling block. I need help in these areas. But for some reason, I spent more money and wasted on these things than on the very things that can help me grow my business. Because last time I checked, if you want this to be a revenue generating business and bring ROI, it needs to make money. If you don't, it's a hobby. And most people go into business with hobby tactics that doesn't drive revenue and then let themselves wondering why. So let's not do that. Let's reset, recalibrate, and try again with a new focus and intentionalism and how to interpret things. Again, what you see, what the market thinks, and what your ICP believes. Notate that and make your adjustments accordingly. Hopefully this episode was very digestible. Hopefully we didn't touch on too many heartstrings. Hopefully it will be well received. And if I do get some hate mail, great. We're going to have some great conversations. It's going to probably make some good material for new episodes. Let me know what you think. Tag me, share, leave a review if you like. We try and do this thing bigger, better, bolder, all the time. Thank you for listening. I'll see you next time.
And that's a wrap. We hope you enjoyed this episode of I Digress. What was your takeaway? Care to share your thoughts and tag Troy on social media? You can find him on all platforms at Find Troy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a review or comment for this episode from wherever you're listening. Looking for a marketing strategist to build the structure, strategies, and systems you need to get the success you want and the ROI you desire in your business? Book a discovery call to talk with Troy at findtroy.com. And as Troy's philosophy goes, imagination is the engine, content is the fuel, social media is the highway, marketing is the roadmap, sales is the destination, culture is the GPS. Thanks for listening.